welcome everyone to episode 107 of the internet sensation known,
let me just say,
as Triple Threat Talk.
It is a pleasure to have you back.
Thank you.
It was very hard for me last week.
I can imagine. I don't like to put you in that certain situation.
I know. I gave you a pass because of the situation, but I wanted to kill him numerous of times, and the fact that he rambled on for 10 minutes about Taylor Hendricks.
I did?
At least,
yeah.
At least.
I didn't know.
I watched the show. You did.
At least that gives me some hope that maybe he's not gay after all. Maybe.
Taylor Hendricks is a very fine-looking woman. I think we've all, been on record with that. Hugh Jackman. Joe Coleman is a very
CM Punk.
CM Coleman. But yes, it is good to be back.
I don't want to shake his hands because after what happened last week, so I was hesitant to do that.
What happened last week?
There he goes with his failed attempt. Him making a joke about Colin Kaepernick in the ESPN Body magazine.
Vernon Davis is in there too. So
I tell you what, Red Blonko is in there. That was very nice.
That's part of my tennis coverage too.
Oh my gosh, dude!
That's a good thing and also a bad thing.
I don't see anything bad about it.
Someone does, and I'll let you know who that is.
Well, I think her family had something.
Well, I'll get to that.
I would think after last week's 30-minute tennis coverage, we wouldn't have any tennis.
Didn't you cover it all last week?
It seems like the whole first hour was tennis. I could be wrong.
You watched, so I want to hear from you.
Just because I watched.
You watched Wimbledon.
He watched Wimbledon.
I watched Wimbledon
because of Murray.
Yeah, I watched it.
I watched it last year.
Andy Murray. Anyway.
Well, today we're going to be covering a little bit of NASCAR. The British Open starts later on today, or started earlier today.
4 a.m.
We're going to go into a little bit of tennis coverage, 2 minutes or less. We're going to talk
Express checkout at Walmart.
About the All-Star
Express checkout at Walmart, 2 minutes or less. What Walmart you going to?
Johnny Manziel and Jadeveon Clowney are in the news, and I have a little bit of a special report that I'm releasing tomorrow that I'm going to be publishing or sharing with you guys today. So,
special report.
Without further ado, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Postmaster Jones.
Questions.
Take it away with Viewer Questions.
See.
All right, from the Buck in 5.
Yes.
How do you feel when wrestlers take other wrestlers' finishing moves and use them as their own? Such as when The Miz took Jeff Jarrett's finishing move, the stroke, and renamed it the skull
Brandon and Cody
crushing finale.
I don't see a problem with it. It happens all the time.
I don't see a problem with it. I think it's a good way of getting into the opponent's head, and that's what they label it as.
CM Punk, I think the guy's name was Kenta Kobayashi, and he wrestles in Japan. He had the move that CM Punk does now, the GT, so it's nothing new. Everyone has their own variation. Shawn Michaels wasn't the first person to do a super kick, but he perfected it, and he was the one that everyone thought of doing. Everyone does it. Del Rio does it. Dolph Ziggler does it.
I'd say the second best person to do it is James Storm.
Yeah, he's really cracks.
Yeah, he really cracks that. Yeah. James Storm does a really good job at doing the super kick, and he calls it the last call.
So some have finishing moves that no one copied. The Rock Bottom, Stunner.
Yeah, there's some. I agree. I don't have a problem.
It happens.
Because some people do it better than others. Yeah. When they they change the name, but they also do it better than others. Like, I think The Miz is more powerful than Jeff Jarrett. Yeah. The Miz's Skull Crusher now looks more lethal than Jeff Jarrett's move. And
Jeff Jarrett's running for the figure 4 anyway.
Just like The Rock should never do the sharpshooter.
Oh my gosh,
it's kind of bad.
But look at this question. It doesn't happen as often as you think. A lot of people have their original stuff.
It usually happens when there's like a heated feud or whatever. You don't see it very often.
You have the arcade, but the diamond cards kind of do different things.
Yeah, it is. All right. Also from the Buck in 5, it's a very good question here. Is WWE using a doubled standard by suspending Ricardo and not doing anything to Swagger for the DUI and pot arrest?
Here's the thing. The thing happened with Swagger. He got taken care of, in court and all that other stuff. He paid his fine and whatever. But I still think WWE should have suspended him. But the reason they didn't, it was WrestleMania season. They weren't going to jeopardize their main event, which we were adamant on the show saying they should have. But that's the way they are. They booked this main event between Del Rio and Swagger. They wanted to make sure this was going to happen. They already advertised that they didn't want to go back on that. The fact they suspended Rodriguez, I don't get why. He took fat burners. Maybe there was something in the fat burner that they caught when they tested him for drugs, and they said, okay, this is on the list. You're suspended for 30 days. Blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I can kind of see that they are kind of do. I don't know why they didn't suspend Swagger, because they should have made an example out of him. But again, it was WrestleMania 6, so they didn't see a point in suspending him. Suspending Rodriguez, again, it was probably something that was in the fabric and that why he got suspended. But I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, it was wrong timing for Swagger to happen. But if it like happened now, he'd be suspended because he's not doing anything.
I think it's a little bit of a double standard, but business is business. At the end of the day, they had to protect their main event at WrestleMania. There's no question about it, though. One way or another, it is a double standard.
I agree. It's definitely a double standard, but we also know WWE is very good at playing favorites, as in Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Also from the Buck and Five,
wow.
Do we think that Damian Sandow will cash in his Money in the Bank, or is he going to lose it to someone else like Mr. Kennedy did?
I say he loses it to Cody at SummerSlam. We'll obviously start Money in the Bank coverage later on, but I think, I like Sandow. I think he's very, very talented. He's great on the mic, and he's an up-and-coming wrestler in terms of, his skills in the ring. But I just think he's still too new to be put in that.
You mean Eric the Idol Stevens?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I think he's still too new to be put in that spot. I think obviously he's been around the block a couple of times because he's been wrestling for quite some time.
How do you know?
He's been wrestling for quite some time, but I think for him to be put in the spot of having that golden opportunity, that guaranteed chance to become a world heavyweight, to become a champion in WWE. I think it's too soon for him because I think he should have won something first, like maybe a mid-card title at US or Intercontinental, something. He hasn't even won a tag title yet. So for him to be his first time to be the world title, I don't see that happening. So I say he loses it to somebody, and I think that somebody's going to be Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam.
I agree and I disagree. I think he loses it to somebody, but I don't think it'll be Cody. They've been taking a giant poop on Cody's chest lately. He was in the Money in the Bank tournament, but that's just because, or the match, but that's just because they needed an extra person who'd kind of been in the main event lately, and Cody has been up there. He's been jobbing a lot lately. I think if it goes to anyone, it'll be to the Shield, namely Dean Ambrose or Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett showed that he's definitely pretty good as a Intercontinental Champion. I think that'll kind of lift him up a little bit into the heavyweight standards. I just don't see Cody getting a chance. I know you don't want to hear it, but I don't see Cody getting a shot for a major championship for a while. Am I going to say never? No, because the kid's good. I just don't think he's ready yet. So,
I think it's pretty evident that he's going to lose it to somebody else. Who, I'm not sure. But I think if they were trying to build him up, and then he wouldn't have lost to Christian on Monday night. So I think
that's kind of the opposite. They build him down to bring him up, not the backwards one.
Yeah, I mean you don't win Money in the Bank, and there's nothing. I'm not taking nothing away against Christian. I'm just saying it was a one-on-one match, and Christian beat him cleanly. So
yeah, you'd figure it's like, because when we were watching the pay-per-view, you saw Sandow and you're like, no one saw this coming kind of thing,
right? And
then you figure next night on Raw, okay, he's fighting Christian, he's going to win, and he lost. It's kind of like, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, for the Buck and Five, what do you think of the Sheamus 1-800-Fella spots?
I like him. I would call it, but I don't think I'd get that. No, I don't think I'd want to know what.
It's not enough numbers.
It's true.
So you wouldn't get anything.
What
so it's actually false advertisement.
Well, what happened?
It's not enough numbers.
So what would happen if you called it?
Just dead air. Nothing would happen.
Okay.
I haven't seen them, so I can't weigh in.
I think they're funny. I like the one last week where he kicked the guy. The
guy's having the hiccups, and he kicks him in the back. And
there's a cat in the tree. They're good ones. I like they doing this because when Sheamus first came in, he was like this closed individual. He was like a very tough guy, but he wasn't really open out there. And then he was a heel for a long time, won the WWE Championship too soon, and all that stuff. Then they rebranded him again, and now he's like getting out there, like doing these commercials, doing stuff like that. He's getting more personal with the fans, which I like to see him do that. So.
I agree, they are funny. I like the one about, where the guy's got the hiccups and he kicks him in the back.
He's like, he has insurance, right? He's got insurance.
Yeah, he's got insurance. He'll be fine. From Against All Odds 20, who do you see as RVD's first feud back?
I don't know. He had a great showing at Money in the Bank. He had a fantastic match on Raw. We'll get to that later, of course, but he had a fantastic match on Raw with Jericho. I don't know who's RVD's first feud. I really don't know. I would say Jericho, but Jericho's gone, so that's not going to happen.
No, he's not gone.
Well, he's gone for the year.
No, he's not.
He's done for the year.
No, he's not.
He tweeted he's
No, he's not done for the year. He's not leaving till August.
Okay, well. I don't see it being a feud with
No,
Jericho.
but I don't think it'll be Jericho. But he's not gone. He's already said he's staying till August. Yeah, he's gone.
So, I don't know. I mean, they're utilizing him on the shows. He was on SmackDown this past week, and he was on Raw for Jericho. So I don't know. Maybe he's just there to build people up. I don't know if he's going to have a feud or not. I mean, I'd like to see him feud with somebody, but right now it's just good to see him back. So
I think him and The Miz would do pretty well.
I can't see why I would fight The Miz. The Miz doesn't have anything.
But that's what...
I don't think The Miz either. I mean, The Miz doesn't really offer anything for RVD. RVD's above The Miz.
Yeah.
He's way better than The Miz.
Right, but I think they'd be building up The Miz.
They already tried that and it didn't work
out. I'm trying to think. I can't think of a realistic person where it would work at all. Like, do they push him for like a mid-card title?
Here's the reason I think The Miz. Here's the reason I think The Miz. They want to build up a young superstar, and I think RVD has that capability. They tried it. I actually did like The Miz as a champion. I thought he did pretty good. He was a little bit whiny, but now that he's kind of more on the face side,
he's whiny.
I think now that he's a little bit more on the face side, I think things would work out for him. He wouldn't whine and complain as much, and I think that RVD could show him a couple things and put him over really well.
The only problem I have with that is when The Miz was champion, the ratings were horrible.
Yeah, they were bad.
They were really bad.
Because everybody was still stuck up John Cena's you-know-what.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It had nothing to do with that. The Miz just couldn't carry the company.
I think he was too new in terms of him being champion. I think it's, I mean, obviously the Money in the Bank thing was a shock and everyone liked seeing that because it's something new, but
right.
I don't think he carried the belt as well as they wanted him to in terms of the ratings.
Exactly. Also from Against All Odds 20, do you see Joe Henning, or a.k.a. Curtis Axel, winning the Rumble or Money in the Bank next year?
That is a very good question. I'm liking what he's doing now with the Intercontinental title run. I thought him winning without Paul Heyman against The Miz on Money in the Bank was very good for him. I think him winning by himself is a big step for him and pushing him as a high tier talent. I would go more with Money in the Bank than Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble's a big deal. I don't see. I mean, that's not that long away. It's like what, 6 months away? Just about 6-7 months away. So I don't see him winning the Rumble. That's just too soon for Money in the Bank. I could possibly see maybe a SmackDown Money in the Bank next year. I could definitely see that. But Rumble, I just think it's too soon.
I think Money in the Bank as well.
I think if he was to win one of the two, it'd be Money in the Bank. But we'll see. I don't think he'd win the Rumble. It's been a long, long time since a rookie has won the Rumble.
Well,
so.
According to you, if he says I'm going to the Rumble, he'll win. So
yeah, that's right. It worked.
It's full proof.
It worked in Money in the Bank. I'm telling you. We'll talk about that too.
Has no change.
From the Jeffrey Caster, you both answered this question earlier, so I'll go ahead and answer it because we were going to ask it. Do you think Cody Rhodes is going to face Damian Sandow at SummerSlam for the Money in the Bank briefcase? You said yes. You said no, and I agree with him. I'm going to say no as well. Also, from the Jeffrey Caster, a question for you. Big B.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the GTA 5 official gameplay trailer?
It's different for them this time around because they usually don't show a lot of this footage for their games a lot. They don't really publicize it as much, but they're really throwing this one out there. The level of the game is massive. They take, Grand Theft Auto 4, San Andreas, and Red Dead, combine all three of them, and this game is bigger. The gameplay looked great. I liked all the customizable options you could do. You can play golf, play tennis, you can cliff jump, you can do all these things. It's a huge, a lot of stuff to do. It's a very open, they're the masters of open world games, so it looks very, very good. It's going to be, I like seeing this in games now. A lot of the games are from the experience. It's like more movies now, and it's a great experience to have. So.
All right, and finally from the CAW interviewer to wrap up user questions, do we think Stone Cold will ever wrestle in WWE again?
No,
Less than a minute.
No. Steve's knee's messed up. I think he can get surgery again, but unless Steve sees like a viable opponent, I don't see him coming back.
I don't think so either. His neck is hurt. He's been hurt on his neck. They've said he can't take too much more damage and not be seriously injured. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I think his neck and knees are too bad off. So with that, Doc, real quick, who is our viewer of the week?
I'm going to say Against All Odds. I liked his questions this week. So Against All Odds, you are 20. You are this week's Triple Threat Talk
Viewer of the Week. And with that, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get right into headlines right after this. Stay tuned, Triple Threat Talk. We'll be right back.
Hey, Nick Dinsmore here. Do you have the dream of becoming a pro wrestler? Well, I did, and I came to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. I'm a former WWE superstar. I'm a former 9-time Ohio Valley Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, and I can train you to be the best today. For all the information regarding the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class, go to obwrestling.com and click on school. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. obwrestling.com, click on school.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my esteemed co-host and good pal, and glad to be back, the Doc, Gary Lockard, and the peon on the end, Big B, Brandon DeMiro.
That's all the grunt work and gets called peon.
That's great. So with that, because of his absence, I was subject to miss it last week. He wouldn't even air it last week. He said because you weren't here, there was no dancing.
What are you twisting this around for? You said no dancing either.
So with that, I hope he can find it in his heart to play this again. So Big B, if you would please roll the beautiful killer.
Well, I know the show won't go on unless I do it anyway, so here we go.
Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
Oh yeah. Get the hips. Yeah.
Every week this gets more and more uncomfortable.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We'll get to that later too.
So, speaking of three yeses.
Yes.
The National League was saying no 3 times yesterday as the AL All Stars bring down the NL All Stars 3-0, effectively giving the American League's representative, whoever that will be, in the World Series home field advantage. The big story, of course, out of this, Yasiel Puig not in the lineup for the National League. Bruce Bochy came out and said he put him on the fan ballot, which Adam Freeman won.
Freddie Freeman. He got injured, didn't even play. Brian McCann took his place.
And I'm sitting there like, why not put Puig in?
Stadium. That's why he got booed.
Here's the problem I have with this whole situation with Yasiel Puig. Here's the problem. The problem is the kid is a star.
Absolutely.
5, 6, 7 weeks in, Bruce Bochy, I have nothing but respect for Bruce Bochy and what he's done for the game of baseball. He is absolutely 100% wrong, and I will argue it with him till the day he dies, should he choose to. He doesn't have that much time left. But I will not ever back down that Yasiel Puig should have been in this game because he rejuvenated the sport. More people are selling out on the road when the Dodgers come to town. Dodger Stadium is always sold out now.
Save Don Mattingly's job.
Save Don Mattingly's job, absolutely. Don Mattingly doesn't have a job today if not for Yasiel Puig.
We covered this last week. We covered this last
2 weeks ago.
No,
last week too?
We covered it last week, and I told you why I disagreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that when you say star, okay, Derek Jeter is a star, yes.
He's awesome.
But he did not play this year.
He's injured.
And for the game of baseball to be going through the PED phase like it is right now, they're cleaning it up, supposedly.
Trying to.
But for someone like Yasiel Puig to come along and literally save a franchise, the Dodgers were dead last in the West. Dead last. He has brought them within a game or two, within contention. They have a shot. In an already weak league, yeah. In a weak division, yes. But when you have somebody literally sparking the offense, the kid batted .600 the other day. .600. 5 at-bats, 3 hits.
Pretty good.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
And when you're saying he's not a star, when you're saying that he doesn't belong in the All-Star game, that is just absolutely absurdity. Yeah, it might be a flash in the pan, but the fact of the matter is he's a star right now. People are going to see him. That makes him a star. Whether or not it's a rookie, I don't care. I really don't. The fact of the matter is, when you go to Dodger Stadium, who are you paying to see right now?
Yasiel Puig.
You're paying to see Yasiel Puig.
I agree. They should be in the All-Star game, but it's one of those things. I mean, who's the Dodger representative anyway? Kershaw?
Clayton
Kershaw. Was probably fantastic.
He's probably one of the best pitchers in the National
Yeah.
League. He's a matter of fact, he's leading the Cy Young.
Yeah,
right
him
now,
and Matt Harvey are two
yeah.
best. I like Yasiel Puig. He's very, very exciting to watch. Obviously, like the doctor said, rejuvenating a franchise in the Dodgers. They were dead last. Now they're relevant again in that division. But the fact remains, it was a fan's vote. So it's up to the fans to vote.
Fans didn't want
the fans. There was a majority of the fans. I don't think it was close, was it?
No, it wasn't even close. It was like a runaway.
It was a landslide for 40 Freeman. So
because you can stuff the ballot. Everybody knows
well,
that.
there's a majority of the fans out there that don't think this guy's ready for the All-Star game. I think he should be in because obviously he's
well, he only had about 100 at bats.
Well, he should have been selected by Bochy. It should have never come down to the fans.
He only had about 100 at bats. That's the biggest problem.
When you come down to pitching in the National League, Clayton Kershaw is fantastic. Like you said, he's leading the Cy Young Award. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. But in a league where you already have great people pitching, like Johnny Cueto, Aroldis Chapman, and several others from throughout the league, you didn't necessarily have to choose Clayton Kershaw.
Right.
You could have put in UCL Puig because the National League average, when it comes down to National League, the NL is about pitching and the AL is about batting. Everybody knows that. So you needed to sacrifice a pitcher to get yourself a batter, and that was UCL Puig, and they missed the bus.
It's one of those things that he didn't get in, but I mean, I don't think this guy's a flash in the pan. I think we'll see him in many All-Star games to come. So I think. I
don't think he is either. I'm just saying whether he is or he isn't.
I don't think he is. But I mean, it's one of the fans. The fans voted. I mean, no one. It's not like you know.
Shouldn't be able to stuff the ballot.
Well, I'm saying it's not like Bruce Bochy said, "Okay, we have one spot left. I'm not picking UCL Puig." It's not up to him. It was up to the fans. The fans decided to put him in. That's it. So.
Exactly.
So moving on here, take us into a little bit of that little bit of tennis coverage you were talking about, Big B.
Two stories I have this week. So when I covered Wimbledon last week, we talked about the finals with Murray winning after a 77-year drought, and then obviously the upsets were coming, like Nadal and Federer. And Federer lost in the second round, which was one of the biggest surprises of the championships in quite some time. Everyone's been talking to Federer about changing his racket. He's used the same racket, I think, his whole career. It's a small frame, so everyone's been telling Federer, use a bigger frame, use a bigger racket. So this week, in the championships in Hamburg, Germany, it's like clay tournament, he's using a bigger racket this week. He actually won his first round match against Daniel Brunn, who actually gave Nadal some problems in France. So Federer using a bigger racket. We'll see if that helps his game or not.
Nothing. Continue.
What am I even bothering? So we'll see if that improves his game or not. We'll see if the change helps him out. Maybe to use a different racket. We'll see if that works.
Yeah.
The other tennis story I want to talk about is you mentioned earlier.
Salivating.
About Agnieszka Radwanska.
Say that fast 3 times.
Yeah.
Don't.
She was in the ESPN The Body magazine. We talked about that last week a little bit too.
Please.
And I liked it. But there's a certain group of people that did not. Her church in Poland, they actually shunned her. She's no longer allowed in that church. They told her she's not allowed there anymore because of the pictures. That's how they are. I'm not going to get into religion.
Here's the problem.
I'm not going to get into religion in this show because that's not where we're going.
You shouldn't either.
But I mean, that's their preference. But I don't have a problem with it. But they seem to, because she was like a huge Catholic person, and she was really representative of the church. She did a lot of promotions for them. She was a sponsor for them, a spokesperson for them. And this picture kind of rubbed them the wrong way. So with that, they kind of
the guys are rubbing the wrong way too.
This is why I don't miss him. He makes these immature jokes.
Here's the problem I have with this. They're done very tastefully. The photos are all done tastefully.
It's not Playboy.
And it's not Playboy. They have what'd she have, tennis balls?
There's 2 pictures. I think the other one that you have to buy the magazine to see, the one they showed online to promote the magazine. Mm-hmm. She was laying on she was sitting on a beach chair, had tennis balls placed. There was tennis balls in the pool, whatever.
Yeah, they placed the ball of their sport over their, naughty bits, if you were, as you will. But it's one of those things that the pictures are tastefully done. I think it's for a good cause, isn't it? The ESPN body.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but
no idea.
I think I remember somebody saying part of it goes to charity. I may be wrong on that.
I don't know about that.
But it's not like it's Playboy where she's out there spreading her stuff everywhere.
But
and let's face it.
Yeah.
Let's face it. The Catholic Church has done much worse, much more recently.
Well, we're not getting to that. But,
so it's one of those things that when I heard that she was shunned, I was appalled because I was like, whoa, really? We're gonna shun her for this, and yet the whole scandal that went on 10 years ago, we're gonna leave that alone? Okay, that's cool. Let's do that.
I mean, obviously, there's some people I was glad to see, and they're like her, but obviously, I wanted to avoid people like John Wall and John Isner and Colin Kaepernick. But again, it's one of those things. It's their decision. I mean, obviously, is she probably upset that they let her go? Probably. I would think so, since she had such a great relationship with them. But, I'm not gonna lie, she has a good body. She wanted to show it off, and obviously ESPN contacted her and said, "Hey, watching this magazine." She said, "Okay, sure." So that's what it is.
Yep.
Postmaster, take us through some NASCAR.
Last week in Loudon, New Hampshire, it was Brian Vickers picking up the win, the part-time driver for Michael Waltrip Racing. You may remember us talking about him a couple weeks ago. He drove the University of Louisville car at Kentucky Speedway. He passed Tony Stewart with about 10 laps to go and picked up the win. Tony Stewart was running second and ran out of gas on the green-white checkered. Finished 26th. There was a lot of hurt feelings after this race. In fact, one no better incident than the war of words between Kyle Busch and Ryan Newman. And this kind of rubbed me the wrong way. What Busch said and what Newman said in kind of retaliation was quite hilarious. What Busch said, the part I don't have a problem with is he called Ryan Newman an ogre. And he said...
He's not lying.
He said...
What insult is that?
He's like the biggest guy in the garage, so I'm not going to, basically get in a fight with him because he'll beat me up. But he basically can do what he wants, blah, blah, blah. And the part that rubbed me the wrong way, he said, and frankly, I'm glad he lost his ride and he doesn't have a job next year.
Wow.
That took it a little too far. So then on Monday on Sirius Speedway on XM NASCAR Radio... Ryan Newman was, taught on the radio and discussing what Kyle Busch said, and he only had one short little answer to say that grew some pretty good humor. He said, and I quote, "I would hate to rearrange his face because it might actually fix it."
Wow! Where is this coming from? This is NASCAR? What is this? Is this TMZ now? Celebrity Insider? Come on.
That's funny.
What is this?
So, needless to say...
Just drive!
It got the people talking, and it's got the NASCAR world flipped upside down.
I would think so.
With this whole Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman ordeal. Obviously, it's been the talk of the week. Unfortunately, they're off this week, so I was hoping there'd be a race this week, but that kind of lowers the steam a little, as you will.
Yeah, just let it simmer. Right?
Also, what lowers the steam a little bit is the fact that was the next day. He had all night to think of that line, or hell, he probably called a writer for him. Hey, can you write me a joke?
It's like the episode of...
it was still funny as hell.
Oh, yeah, it's hilarious.
Like the episode of Seinfeld where that guy insults George, and he's thinking of a comeback, and he's driving away, he comes right back and goes, "That's what I should have said! That's what I should have said!"
But so they are off this week. The Nationwide Series is in action at Chicagoland.
Chicago.
The Cup Series is off this week. Next week they resume. They'll be at the Brickyard, Indianapolis. It'll be my third Cup race of the year. I'll be attending the Brickyard race. It also starts the ESPN coverage side of things, which they will take it from here to the end at Homestead in November. Should be good. With the Nationwide race holding its second race there. They had the inaugural race there last year, and they're going back again this year. So it makes a full weekend of coverage there at Indianapolis, and we'll talk about it more next week, as always.
Another quick NASCAR note, if you're a fan of that show on TBS, Sullivan and Son, Brad Keselowski is actually guest starring on Thursday night. So
Tonight.
Well, tonight, yeah.
So, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Moving on to our next subject. Are you ready for the Open at the world's first golf course at good old St. Andrews?
4 a.m. waking up with a cup of tea and some crumpets.
The good thing is Tiger Woods doesn't tee off till 9:45 this morning. So I can listen to his round by round coverage while I'm working.
There you go.
But, it's okay. It all depends on what happens with his left elbow. As you can't see me, but I'm rolling my eyes behind my glasses.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
I couldn't see that. Thank you for explaining.
It's utterly absurd. I just don't understand why he doesn't come out. It's not like golf is the one thing where
he's not Big B. He doesn't have to come out.
Golf is the one sport. Hold on. Golf is the one sport where if you disclose an injury, your competitor does not gain any kind of advantage.
Right.
So why lie about it? If your elbow's hurt, your elbow's hurt. You at least have an excuse for when you get out there and play bad, which he's going to do. He's going to play horrible. At St. Andrews, his record is terrible. I think he's only won it like twice.
We'll see.
But it's one of those things. Could I win St. Andrews? Absolutely not.
No.
It's a links-style course. when you guys look at this course, by the way, you're going to think it's horrible. But it's really not. It hasn't rained there in a while, so the rough, which looks like a hayfield, I saw pictures of it. You can hit out of it in some places because of the lack of rain. What?
Nothing. Oh, we'll take a quick break. We'll right back into this Triple Threat Talk.
Killing me,
Stay tuned.
You're killing me, Smalls.
We really wanted to take a relaxing trip to Florida, just to unwind.
But we can only afford one trip this year, and his high school reunion is coming up in Seattle.
Everyone's going. Then we heard about Hotwire and realized we could actually afford to take both trips.
See, when really nice hotels have unsold rooms, they use Hotwire to fill them. So we got our 4-star hotels for half price.
I should have been voted most likely to travel.
HOTWIRE, hotwire.com.
Save big on car rentals, too, from $11.95 a day.
Finishing up with the doc here on the British Open.
When you look at this course, you're going to think it's in horrible shape. But it's a traditional links style golf course. You want it to be a little dry in places. It does look a little bit more on the burnt side, but it's not. It's exactly how St. Andrews needs to be. St. Andrews always has those dark beige tones in the fairway and the rough and the green sometimes.
Right.
And it's what it's known for, that high winds. So, who do you like? I'm going to throw 2 names out there. I'm going to say Rory gets back on his horse and on his home turf.
I have a comment about that.
And then Sergio Garcia is the name I'm hearing in whispers. I think Sergio is coming back a little bit from what he and Tiger did going down in the break at the Masters, and I think Sergio might get back in contention.
What's your thought about Roy?
I was reading an article today, and this is a guy's opinion, but it's a valid opinion. Of course, you don't know Rory McIlroy is actually currently dating a fellow tennis superstar, Caroline Wozniacki, and the guy thinks that he's being distracted, but it's because he's so in love with her. That could be something. Obviously, he's probably devoting more of his time to her than it could be. I don't know if that's how it is. I don't know his personal life, but I don't know. I think he's more focused on her. I really do. Since he's dating her, he's done really well. He's won the PGA Tour Championship. He was #1. I think he's more focused on her. I really do. More power to him. She's a very beautiful woman, but I don't think Roy has the title in him right now. I think something, and he's thinking of other things. I like Ernie Els. Didn't he win last year? Don't think so.
You might be right.
I think Ernie Els won last year.
I think he is right.
He played really well last year. You can't count him.
I'm almost positive. He won something big last year. That might be it.
You can't count him out.
Never count
the guy who won last year. I like him. I don't know a lot about golf, so I like Ernie Els. Didn't Justin Rose win the U.S. Open?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll pick him too. I think he's played really well at the U.S. Open. Tiger is like, I don't see him winning.
He's not going to win.
Tiger just seems like he's in a position now where...
You know who might win this thing? Lee Westwood.
I don't think Tiger's in a position to really make a contention for this title.
I actually like that.
Can he catch Jack? I don't think so. I don't.
We're not talking about catching Jack here.
I'm just
can he win?
Well, I'm just saying, can he win? No, I don't think he. So I have my picks are Ernie and Justin Rose. So.
I'll never go against Tiger Woods.
Of course you won't.
That's just me. That's not going to happen. But I will say, if I was picking somebody else, I'd go with Phil Mickelson, and the reason why is because he just won the Irish Open.
He's got a little moment.
I'm sorry, the Scottish Open.
Open.
This past weekend. So he's already been over in Europe. He's already accustomed to the weather conditions, the time change.
Because I told Dad that I thought that was good. I thought that was a very good strategy for Phil getting there.
Exactly.
And the kids are with him too. So the wife and kids are
there. He's accustomed to the time change, the weather. His sleep pattern won't be off. He'll already be raring to go. And so I'll take Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods.
A very bleak note about the kids and his wife coming over. They flew over on separate planes. Apparently, and I was not aware of this, apparently there is a growing amount of Americans that flies families separately in case one of the planes go down.
That's horrible.
If the plane was to go down, at least they've got family members on another plane. Well, there's a growing number of Americans that are starting that practice, and it's very disturbing.
That's kind of
it's very morbid.
It's a very pessimistic reason to do that. It's like Well,
it's a trend that's growing.
It's like, well, Bobby, you're going to go on plane A, and I'm going to go on plane B, because if I die, you'll live. It's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on, let's face it. If we have a pilot named Sung Ting Wong,
that was hilarious. Oh my god, I can't believe she read that. Oh my god. When she got played hook, line, and sinker.
I thought I don't even think that was the funniest one. I think the funniest one was 5 years ago in China when the two helicopters ran into each other. One of the pilots' name, and Bill Maher said this, and I don't like Bill Maher, but I think this was great. He said, for God's sakes, one of the pilots' names was actually Wong Wei. I mean, you can't get
Wong Wei.
You can't
something wrong.
You can't get.
It's just like how low can you feel as a reporter for a news station? It's like
they should all be fired.
It's like the pilot say something wrong, so you can't think that's right. You can't think that's the right name. You can't.
Well, I mean, maybe so because it's Korean.
Well, yeah, but that's
so you're like you don't think because they all have those short like 2 and 3.
Didn't she ask her like producers like, is this really his name? And she was put up to it obviously because it's not. It was a joke.
To be fair, at the spur of the moment, because I've done it before. I played quick recall for 4 years in school, from 9th to 12th grade. Okay. I was usually always team captain. Well, you know, if
Captain Charisma.
Yes, and when you always know when you play quick recall, you have the bonus question where the team confers together.
Yeah.
Well, there was a question where they said, name the Chinese author.
For what?
For I forget what. Okay. So they told me not thinking. They said, tell the moderator, cream of some young guy.
Oh my God! You did not do that.
So I said,
"Oh no!
Cream of some young guy."
Oh my God!
Timeout. You're out of the game. I got thrown out of a quick recall match. I think I'm the only one in history to ever get thrown out of a quick recall match.
Oh my God!
So I can attest that it does happen.
What subject were we on here? I can't remember.
Are we having this conversation right now? This is happening?
Yes.
This is happening?
Yes, it's happening. I forget why we were having that conversation.
I just jump in and talk about different flights and...
I just can't believe this.
It was his fault.
We're talking about the British.
His fault.
See, with us, we start here, then we go here, then we go here, we go here. So, who knows?
Tyson Big B is gay gets dropped from Adidas. Tyson Gay dropped by Adidas for using...
Banned substances.
Banned substances.
You didn't miss him at all, did you?
No, absolutely not. I'm still pretending he's not here.
Jadavian Clowney.
That's a lot of mass, though. Trying to pretend he's not here.
Right.
Jadavian Clowney says the SEC's QBs are scared of him. He's specifically pointed out Clemson QB Taj Boyd. Big B, let's show this hit. Show people why they might be scared.
I'm not showing because you told me to. I'm showing because people need to see this. They haven't seen it already, which I'm sure they have. So.
Wow. Michigan at the 41. What a hit! Ball's free on the ground. South Carolina deserves to have it, and they do. How about that quickness and get off?
Wow.
I mean, everyone's seen that already.
That is a good reason to be scared of somebody.
I mean, that guy could probably literally knock your head off.
Wow. Wow.
I would think you look at your schedule and you see South Carolina on that list, I'd be afraid. That guy could knock you clearly out.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
we talked before the show. He's number one pick.
Yeah, I think so.
J.D. Von Clemmie.
Going from one football story to another one, Johnny Manziel leaves the Manning Pass facility in Louisiana.
Grow up.
What does this mean for the Heisman winner? What does this mean? Well, before we answer the question, let's let people know. Right now, there are conflicting stories.
No one knows what's going on.
No one really knows what's going on, and it's one of those things that some people are saying his phone died, so he didn't show up to the early meetings, so he overslept. Peyton Manning has come out and said that he was dehydrated.
His dad said that too.
And Archie said that as well, yeah. That he dehydrated and was sick, and they decided it was in everyone's best interest to send him home a day early. Other people are saying he was partying too late at the camp. So there, you got three different stories. We don't know which one is true.
No.
Since the first and last story I mentioned were pretty much media spun, I gotta go with his boy on this one. I gotta go with what Archie and Peyton are saying, that maybe he was dehydrated. That's the story you want to believe, at least. And
you would hope.
Since the other two are media spun and the media's gotten their hands on it and have turned it into what it is, we're trying to stay objective here. There's really no evidence to show one or the other.
No.
So when I have a reputable source such as Peyton Manning and his father, I'm going to kind of side and go with them and say he got sick and was asked to leave. He was there as a counselor for these kids, and as a coach and a counselor. So you want to hope he's being some sort of positive influence, especially from the Heisman winner, as opposed to a negative influence. Yeah. What do you think?
First of all, he needs to grow up. And this is not the first time we've heard something negative about him. Obviously, there was.
But assuming can we really tell him to grow up because we don't know what's going on?
Well, not just this. I mean, there's been stuff in the past.
Right, there's been other things.
A fight, and he had a DUI, and there was that time he was like tweeting said he wants to leave Texas A&M. It's like you're in a good position here with a great school to really do some damage and become a really great quarterback in college and advance your career to the NFL. That's where you want to be. Again, we don't know A from B here. We don't know if Peyton's story is true or his dad's saying he's dehydrated or what it was. No one knows. Obviously you want to hope because this guy is very talented. You hope it's not the negative stuff, but in reality, that's how people are acting these days. And he thinks, I don't know how Johnny Manziel thinks, but he's 20 years old. The world is at his feet. He's obviously one of the best players in college, and he thinks he can do what he wants. I don't know if that's the case or not.
It's not,
but. I mean, I don't know. There's true story about it. There's three different stories. Someone's saying one thing, one guy's saying another thing. So I'd like to believe that, he was dehydrated and he was told to leave. But also, it's not too far-fetched that I believed he was partying too hard and he was asked to leave.
Because he has a bad track record.
So it's not too far-fetched to think that thought he was invincible. Look at Aaron Hernandez. I mean, it's not the same thing, but in the same aspect, they both think they're invincible. They can do what they want. Aaron Hernandez is going to jail for the rest of his life. Johnny Manziel can party. He thinks he can party all night and ruin an opportunity. I don't know if that's true or not, but again, it's not too far-fetched.
It goes to the aspect of freshmen shouldn't be allowed to win the Heisman. I don't even think they should be eligible. It should be eligible.
He gets a vote next year.
I know.
Yeah,
he does. And he's only a sophomore.
Vote for Teddy.
I think that winning the Heisman as a freshman, it's definitely went way over his head.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
He is, ever since then, he's been, like you said, doing nothing but partying, hanging out front row at NBA games. It's like, where are you getting this money? You're a sophomore.
He posts a picture on Instagram of like those.
Yeah, I'm like, where are you getting all this money? You don't have a job. You're a full-time college student, and you're a college star quarterback. Yeah. So you need to blow yourself down. Ease on the brakes a little bit here, Hoss, because you're going down the wrong path. And whether or not this is true or not, what story comes out to be the final truth, we don't know. Yeah. But like Big B said, his past track record leads me to believe that he was partying all night, and his past performances and his actions in the past doesn't make me believe that he was just dehydrated or sick.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then what do you think about Archie and Peyton? Does that change your view on them if they lied to the public?
Maybe they're trying to protect them.
Well, he could.
Maybe
he could been.
But I think maybe
dehydrated and sick. But that could have been from drinking too much.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that if they did lie, and you said it's to protect them, wouldn't the better protection be to call him out? And
I don't think
as
they want.
a nation,
I don't think
everybody get behind.
I don't think Peyton and Archie want to be looked at as ratting him out kind of thing. I think they obviously see the talent that he has. They want to protect him. They don't want to say, oh yeah, this guy was drunk and he was didn't really care about it.
Wouldn't that be better though?
Not from their standpoint, because I think Peyton Manning's, especially Peyton Manning. I don't know about Archie Manning, but I know Peyton Manning is a huge upstand guy, very respectable in the league, very respectable sports figure. I don't think he would come out and say, oh yeah, Johnny was drunk, he didn't want to do this.
He would never do that.
I don't see Peyton doing that.
I want to say I agree with you, but playing devil's advocate here, which we wouldn't be doing due just if I didn't. As a nation, or if you're Peyton and Archie, and you have the people behind you that you do, and the words and the credibility, wouldn't a better solution be to call out Johnny Manziel? That way we can save a good football player, fantastic football player, and set him on the right path. If that's the case, I would think that just playing devil's advocate, as the devil's advocate, I would have to say that would be the better situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, if I were Peyton Manning in this situation, I don't think I would do it. I think, like I said, I don't think he wants to be that kind of guy and rat him out or whatever. But I think
would it really be writing him out? I think going to my scenario, I don't think it would be writing him out.
I think ultimately why, if Johnny Manziel did do the negative things that he's being supposedly accused of, I think Peyton's probably like, you know what? He's 20 years old. He's pretty much an adult now. He should take care of himself. If he wants to say what he did, that's his choice. I'm not his father. I'm not gonna tell him what to do. If he wants to say, I made a mistake, blah blah blah, that's his decision. Peyton's not gonna make it for him. So when we get back, more headlines. Gary's gonna start about the Lakers. What can they do to fix them, and much more, especially what happened this past Sunday at Money in the Bank. So stick around and more Triple Threat Talk right after the break.
No one expected me to be here. No one expected me to be a starter, to hit game-winning shots, or even play in this league. Well, I'm not here to live up to anyone else's expectations. I'm here to live up to mine.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I really do.
And we're back.
And welcome back, everyone, to Triple Threat Talk. I'm Gary the Dr. Locker, joined as always by Big P, Brandon DeMiro, and Jimmy Biggins, Mr. Postmaster Jones. I'm going to pose you the same question, Postmaster. I'm going to pose to you the same question as Devil's Advocate. Would it be better for Archie and Peyton to just call out Johnny Manziel, even though they may not want to, just to set him straight to salvage what will be undoubtedly a fantastic football career?
Maybe, but I think what Big B was saying is if they outed him, say he was out partying late and was out late drinking, blah, blah, blah. If they outed him, he's already had a shaky track record. Mm-hmm. So if they out him with this, it's not going to make his image any better than it already is. Sure, he's well known. Sure, he won the Heisman. But you got to think, the kid's only 20. He's not grown up yet. He's still in that party stage.
Right.
In fact, he hasn't even really reached the full party stage yet. So I think it would have been kind of, if we tell him, we might ruin this kid's career. And I don't think they want that blood on their hands. I think they were just trying to find a way of a happy medium of, yes, he was dehydrated, he was sick, which I think that was their way of kind of saying, yeah, he was probably drunk, hungover, and wasn't feeling well.
Because you kind of feel that way if you're drunk.
Yeah,
right, yeah, you do.
So usually you do feel dehydrated. You don't necessarily always be sick, but you can have a headache, but you definitely usually dehydrated and you drink water.
You don't feel too well for sure. So.
But so that was probably their politically correct way of basically saying, yeah, he was drunk, and they just put it in a more nicer term, I think.
And like I said, I agree with what they're saying. It's just, you got to play devil's advocate to maybe kind of look at it a couple different angles.
Right. Devil's Advocate, great movie.
Great movie. Anyway,
Keanu Reeves, great movie.
So I do want to start off by saying the special report. I looked a little bit into this, and I'm publishing this article tomorrow. So we're talking Friday. This article will be out. I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to Bitly link it for me. And we're gonna put it on. We're gonna put it on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm gonna put it on triplethreattalk.com. What I've been working on for the last couple weeks is, a couple weeks ago, Colin Cowherd had a very good thought, and he didn't realize he had a very good thought. He said, "Why not send Rajon Rondo from the Celtics to the Lakers? Why not?" And of course, he said he had a little bit of wine the night before, and he got 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and he started dreaming about serpents. So he said maybe it was a serpent dream hangover. But then I started thinking, wait a minute, this could actually make a little bit of sense. Because in the West, in the NBA West, okay, the Western Conference, you have all these dynamic, young, strong, quick point guards. Russell Westbrook, Ty Lawson, Tony Parker, Chris Paul, all right? You have Rajon Rondo in the East, all right? From a team in Boston who is rebuilding, starting with the building blocks on Bradley Stevens, okay? They've even said that their object next year is to do so bad that they get a lottery pick. Is that what you want when you're Rajon Rondo? No. That's not what you want, especially when you're rebuilding.
They're building a team around Rajon.
They're building a team around Rajon Rondo, but what if Rondo wasn't there to build a team around? Here's what I found out. I did a little bit of digging, and I'm going to throw the writing I'm going to let you all read, but here's some of the numbers, and here's some of the conclusions I drew, okay? On November 2nd, all right? Chris Paul versus the Lakers. 6 rebounds, 15 assists, 3 steals, 1 turnover, 18 points. Chris Paul, and that was against a very abysmal performance by Steve Blake as the Lakers point guard. All right? Tony Parker on November 13th. 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 turnover, 19 points, once again versus a very dismal Darius Morris. Russell Westbrook, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. 1 rebound, 8 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 33 points versus yet another point guard for the Lakers, Chris Duhon, who had 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists. Ty Lawson, December 26th, 4 rebounds, 14 assists, 2 steals, 17 points versus Steve Nash, 2 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, 15 points.
Steve Nash is no slouch.
Man.
Steve Nash
is, in this game, he wasn't a slouch. Yeah. But listen, Chris Paul, January 4th, 6 rebounds, 13 assists, 2 steals, 30 points versus Steve Nash. 30 points against Steve Nash, who had 12 points, 1 rebound, 10 assists, 1 steal. Abysmal performance by Steve Nash. Ty Lawson, January 6, 2013, 2 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, 21 points, once again versus Steve Nash, another abysmal performance. 3 rebounds, fairly good amount of assists though. 13 assists, really pounding the ball out to other players, creating some shots. 1 steal, and an abysmal 10 points. These are all Laker losses. That's the one thing these all have in common. So, what I'm concluding here, when you look at the points especially, Kobe is a number 2. He's the number 2. He plays shooting guard. Despite what people think, he's shooting guard. He's not number 1. He's the number 1 player on the team, but he doesn't play the 1.
You just answered
he plays
the question
2.
Because I was going to kind of disagree with some of that, because when you have Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, and Tony Parker, Kobe Bryant's guarding them, not Steve Nash, not Steve Blake, not Darius Morris. But Kobe Bryant is the one guarding these guys.
You know what, Kobe? And my rebuttal to that is this.
But my point is, okay, I see where you're going with this, but the fact of the matter is, when a star guard comes to play LA, whether it be in LA or LA's on the road, Kobe's guarding the star guard. Always.
But here's the thing, and here's the problem I have with that. Kobe's 27-3-3 guy. He's a 27-3-3 average guy this year. He's not getting younger. These younger point guards are running wild on Kobe. Kobe can still score. He is not as fast as those younger guards. 2 things I said, and I had said, and you all have heard me say it, have already happened at the Lakers. Andrew Bynum was traded. Ron Artest was amnestied. Both of those things happened. I would not be surprised at all in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, if we hear the Lakers are negotiating with Rajon Rondo to come, because Kobe Bryant wants Rondo. He said he would love to work with Rondo. He said he's the 1 point guard in the league he wants. He would love to see where this team goes, and let's face it, Steve Nash, the Lakers are an old team. They're old. There's no getting around it. They dropped Ron Artest, which was a great move because of the age.
Now he's on the Knicks.
They dropped Andrew Bynum, fine center. They're going to get a lot of great, either a cap space or a couple good picks out of that one.
Bynum went to the Cavs.
And he went to the Cavs, exactly. So here's my point. I think when it's all said and done, since when they amnesty Ron Artest, when they amnesty him, that money does not go against their salary cap anymore. So that frees up space. They get the space freed up from Andrew Bynum, and they'll cut either Darius Morris or Chris Duhon, put Steve Nash as your backup point guard, and go out and get you a young, dynamic point guard to go, because Kobe said he feels he can win 2 or 3 more, but he can't do it alone anymore. He is a superstar, but he's got to start passing the torch. And wouldn't it be a better torch to play after Rajon Rondo spend all that time behind KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce in Boston if he inherits the Los Angeles Lakers? And I know people are saying, Doc, wait a minute, pump the brakes. They're rivals. Well, guess what? You're not in my conference. You're not in my division. If I can get if I can get 2 first-round picks out of you for Rajon Rondo, which you can, if you can get 2 first-round picks out of them and you're rebuilding a program, I don't care what you give your rival. They're not. You don't have to play them. You don't have to play them unless it's interconference, and you're maybe at the championship series, the last championship series in the finals. What do I care what Boston gets? What I care what Los Angeles gets? Who cares if I help Los Angeles? I'm going to be rebuilding a program, and you know what? Next time we meet, you're going to be minus Kobe anyways by the time we get this whole thing done. Let's see what Rondo's done in Los Angeles on his own. I think it's a great move. I think it's a smart move. They go out and get that. 2 of the 3 things have already happened. Ron Artest, gone. Andrew Bynum, gone. I think, honestly, here in the next couple weeks, you're going to see a lot of talk about Rondo going to the Lakers. And I'm going to publish that on, like I said, that'll be out on Friday, the full reading of it. So, and I want to know what everybody thinks about that. What do you guys think? I don't think it's far beyond reason at all. When you look at the numbers, when you look at salary caps, and when you look at the fact that Boston wants to rebuild, what do you think? I think I'm onto something.
Well, I agree with him in terms of those stats where he was talking about individual point guards. Kobe's guarding those guys.
But they're all young, and Kobe's not, and they're getting slaughtered by them.
I get that, but I think what he's trying to say and what I was trying to say is that's Kobe's fault, not whoever was playing.
Right.
So, bringing in another point guard is not going to matter because Kobe's still going to guard the star guy.
Kobe's still the main guy in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Rondo's a fantastic player. There's no doubt about that. None. I still don't think Mike D'Antoni is the right coach for them.
I don't think he is either.
They have Dwight Howard, okay? Dwight Howard's a superstar. He's a great center, and he's going to do some great things in Houston with James Harden, Jeremy Lin, and Chandler Parsons. They're going to be a fantastic team. One of the teams I'm watching for next year because they have a good coach in place. Dwight Howard cannot work with D'Antoni. Dwight Howard got pretty much ruined in LA. I think I hope he rebuilds in Houston. I really do because I think he's a fantastic player. But I think D'Antoni's just not. It's not his game. He's offensive. He doesn't coach defense at all. He is an offensive-minded guy. When he coached the Suns, they're always leading the league in points scored because they're an offensive team always. I think Brad Stevens coming to the Boston Celtics was in part because Rajon Rondo was there. I think he sees Rajon Rondo as a superstar.
He said he wants to learn from
Rajon Rondo is still a young kid. He's still not that. He's still pretty removed from
the oldest guy on the Celtics.
Right. And there's a lot of rookies there, so it's a very good spot for Brad Stevens. And I think Rajon Rondo and Stevens are probably working together, saying, "Okay, who can we bring to this team to help us win here?"
Rondo wants to compete, though.
I think Rondo wants to stay. I mean, there's a lot of good point guards in the West. Obviously, Tony Parker. He's not got a lot of years left. Ty Lawson, Steph Curry. Obviously, Steph Curry's probably one of the best point guards in the West. I think Steph Curry's fantastic. But I don't see Rondo going to LA because I don't see Rondo taking a backseat to Kobe. Kobe's still the main guy in LA. Rondo's not going to take a backseat to Kobe.
He took a backseat to the other 3 in Boston.
Rondo's a star. Rondo is a star. Now this is his chance to. This could be his team.
He wants to compete, though.
Right. This could be his team.
Not this year. He's not.
No.
I think the Celtics will be better than you think. I agree with him. I think Brad Stevens coming to the Celtics, being removed from college, coaching young talent, he's really going to mold their minds. I think Boston's going to do a lot better than we think.
Here's the problem with that theory, though. Here's the problem, and it's a big problem. They want to rebuild, so they're going to tell them to lose games. They might be better than what they come out with. They might do better than what they think they're going to do, but without those lottery picks next year, they are not going to be in a position to rebuild.
They have
because Rondo, you're absolutely right with what you said. Rondo can compete, but they're going to tell him not to. Does he really want to be part of that?
He's going to stay in Boston. He's going to be the top guy. They're going to build a team around him, and why not? You're going to be the face of Boston. Boston is a huge sports town. It's a big sports town. The markability for Rajon Rondo, that would be through the roof. Yeah. Why would you want to go to L.A. and play second fiddle to Kobe Bryant and the expectations. The expectations in LA are ridiculous.
Yeah, look what happened with the Lakers. They had great star power, and D'Antoni couldn't coach them.
Yes.
And they barely made the playoffs. Barely.
And with Rondo at the Celtics, they have 6 or 7 draft picks already stockpiled by trading Pierce and Garnett. The oldest player on the team is Rondo. He's only 27 years old. Yeah. Bradley Stevens is coming in. He's coaching these guys. These guys are all going to be college-age kids. This is perfect fit. Brad Stevens, mark my word, the Celtics will be a powerhouse in several years. They're going to be really good. They're going to be contending for a top tier, top 4 or 5 seed within 2 to 3 years. And I think Rondo's willing to stick it out. I think Rondo is willing to stay. Give Brad Stevens a chance, because I think, like he said, Brad Stevens and Rondo are going to be working together on this to build the team. They're going to build the team around Rajon Rondo, and why not? Bring in some of the guys from Kentucky. Why not? Bring in some of the guys that are supposed to be really good from UK. Bring in, other top guys that are getting ready to graduate or are getting ready to come to the NBA out of the draft. And we'll talk more about this right after break. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk.
Take me back to 1999. Yuvo, play jukebox. Need a better car? My Optima was ranked most appealing midsize sedan by J.D. Power and Associates.
Who are you?
I'm you from the future. You should be playing that game.
But all you did was dunk in that game.
Bingo. Yeah.
I go back to Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard took the Magic to the finals by himself with nobody around him. He goes to LA and he's a great player, but he gets demolished because D'Antoni doesn't know how to coach him.
Substantial size difference.
But I'm just saying, in terms of the talents, they're both talented players. D'Antoni can't really work with them.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Oh, we're back. We've been back, actually. Still talking about this Rajon Rondo story. He was talking about the Lakers.
Here's the thing. When you talk about Rajon Rondo, okay? Yeah, he can go to Boston where he's not getting any younger, and the players coming in around him are young and wet behind the ears. Brad Stevens is going to be great because you know what? Brad Stevens does know his X's and O's. And here's the thing about Brad Stevens. He no longer has to focus on recruiting. No. So his X's and O's are going to get better. His statistics are going to get better. He plays how I would play somebody. He coaches how I would coach, by the numbers. It's what we call money ball, okay? When you're coaching by the numbers, all right? That's exactly what I would do. It was a great movie. Now,
wrong with you?
Now, here's the thing. You can expand that by saying he's not going to get any younger and he does want to compete. He wants to win that championship. Why not go play second fiddle to Kobe for 2 years where you have a chance? A, you're in LA, a bigger sports market than Boston when you're talking basketball, a bigger sports market than Boston. You're going to inherit the Los Angeles freaking Lakers. We're getting calls on this already. Hold on. You're going to inherit the Lakers. You're going to only be behind Kobe for 2 years.
That's so rude.
You're only going to be behind Kobe for 2 years because he's already said he's on his way out. Right. Kobe wants to work with him.
But he wants another ring.
So he's not going to scare him off.
Right.
He's not going to scare him off. He wants that ring, so he's going to work with Rondo. And when Kobe leaves, Kobe has the Lakers. That is every basketball player. Rondo has the Lakers. That is every basketball player's dream.
I wouldn't want him.
I wouldn't want him either. And the
Lakers are old.
They won't be able to get Rondo.
About the Lakers, this is my biggest argument. I don't think Rondo's going there. The amount of pressure to win in LA is astronomical.
And it's not in Boston?
It's not as big. It's not as big. It's not as big.
Not as bad. It's not as bad.
It's not as big. It's not as big. I'm telling you.
Every year.
I agree. The pressure win in Boston is big, but the pressure win in LA is astronomical.
Yes. Every year they think they should be in the finals. Every year.
Wait a minute. So you're going to sit there and honestly tell me that in a city where the man is coaching Mike D'Antoni, who clearly does not belong there,
absolutely,
and they did not can him, that the pressure to win in LA is bigger than it is in Boston, where they changed up everything this year?
That was their own choice.
Absolutely not.
That's their own choice.
I
That was
disagree.
their own choice.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it was their own
not
choice.
their only choice.
Doc Rivers left on his own.
You traded your coach.
Two things.
You
One,
traded your coach.
One, Doc Rivers left on his own.
Yes,
but he
yes.
traded second.
But he left on his own.
Second and biggest argument of all. They had a chance to take Phil Jackson and they didn't. They said forget it.
Exactly, which makes my point.
No, we're talking about the Lakers.
Exactly.
That's because you have idiots running the hen house. So it's retarded.
When you're talking about winning in LA, you pass up Phil Jackson. That makes my point, not yours.
Because the Lakers are going down the drain. It totally makes his point. The Lakers are going downhill.
Here's the thing. Before the season even started, with the people they had, Kobe, Nash, Metta World Peace, Dwight Howard, people expected them to make the final. Metta World Peace. He's not on our test anymore. Metta World Peace. But they expected him to win. They expect to win. Like you said, they expect to make the finals every single year, and they usually did that when they was like Kobe and Shaq and all them.
They can't do that anymore.
No. I agree. Boston's win there, it's big, but they haven't really. This year wasn't that big on them because they weren't competing towards the end, and they had a chance to win, and they lost to the Knicks. LA, they were in the bottom seat. People still expected them to get out of there. They expected maybe cause the Spurs to lose. The pressure, I agree with. I'm not denying it.
Right.
To win in Boston is big. I think, but to win in LA is astronomical.
Yes.
And like I said, I mean, the celebrities are always Jack Nicholson's in the front row. I mean, the pressure to win is so big.
They're both big.
The Lakers are the Yankees of NBA. The Yankees are expected to win every year. The Lakers are expected to win every year. There's teams out there
that expect to win every year.
Yes.
They're buying people, though. It's the same thing. When you say the Yankees of the NBA, that means they have a bigger salary cap to work with. They don't care about the money like the Yankees do. And look what happens to the Yankees. Look what happens. They're exactly the same.
The Lakers
because they're
are
so old.
Man. Yeah, the Lakers are old hat.
But to the Yankees' credit, they're only 5 games out of first.
Kobe Bryant has only been able to win one championship without Shaq. He has not been able to win a championship without a legitimate big man, and he will not win a championship without a legitimate big man.
Because they need a big man.
Because in the NBA, whether you like it or not, when it comes down to the playoffs, you need a good center, or you're not going to win the championship. And I don't care how good of a backcourt you have, if you do not have a good center, you're not going to win the title. So it wouldn't matter if they brought Rondo, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, and the 7 cycles of the Apocalypse.
You know what would matter? And here's another thing that's going in my... and I know where you're going with that, but here's the thing. Also in the article, all right? And we didn't even get through half of it, but also in the article, you know who else they need to bring in? Sacramento's own, Kentucky's own, DeMarcus Cousins.
He might go to the Pelicans.
DeMarcus Cousins. Why? What's their... Well, why?
Did you say he went?
He might go to the
Pelicans.
So he's a free agent.
If they bring in DeMarcus
nobody may
Cousins
sign him though because he's a
Rajon Rondo,
he's a bad head case. Bad head case.
But the kid can ball in the post.
Maybe
that's what you're looking.
He's got a lot of off-court issues and a lot of.
Again, it just brings around my point.
He's not a bigger head case than Melo.
No,
that's for sure.
Meta. But
or Meta.
Back to my point. Dwight Howard is a fantastic player. But he went to a place where maybe the pressure was too big, and the coach was wrong, and he flustered.
And he did what you're wanting Rondo to do: play behind Kobe, and it doesn't work because when you have I compare Rondo with Dwight Howard. They are one and the same almost. So you're telling Rondo to go do the same thing Dwight Howard did. Well, it didn't work for Dwight Howard, so why is it going to work for Rondo?
I'll tell you why. Because what Big B said is absolutely right. Mike D'Antoni is an offensive-minded coach. You have Dwight Howard, who's a center, which is what? Usually post-scoring / defense position. You have Rajon Rondo, who can open up the lanes, pull up the jumper, create shots, make some passes, score get triple-doubles. He is your point guard. That is the difference. That is the huge difference.
But I agree with him. So, say, for example, you're right. You're absolutely right. 2 weeks later, the Lakers signed Rajon Rondo. They still need a center.
DeMarcus Cousins.
What if they don't? I'm not even going there. What if they just get Kobe and Rondo? That's all they get.
They don't got a chance.
They still don't win.
No, they don't.
They need a center.
They'll finish bottom of the.
They'll probably do the same.
They'll slip into the playoffs.
They need a center.
They do need a center. You get rid of Andrew Bynum. You've got to bring in DeMarcus Cousins. If you don't think DeMarcus Cousins is seriously going to field offers from the Lakers,
Again,
you think he'd rather go to the Pelicans?
He is a head case.
Nobody wants to deal with a head case, Doc. And he has a lot.
World peace.
No.
Melo can play.
DeMarcus Cousins
not as good as
DeMarcus
Melo is a
Cousins
baller.
has a lot more off-court issues than Meta World Peace.
And Melo.
And if you think that's
No, you're right. But I'm just saying, when it comes down to on-court issues, Meta World Peace's his issues and Melo's issues have both spilled out on the court.
But you have
with
to look
DeMarcus, it has not.
But you have to look at it from what we talked about a couple of weeks ago with the Aaron Hernandez
As
thing.
long as you don't kill somebody off, I don't care what you do. As long as you're not killing people and doing drugs.
See, I disagree.
And he's not doing that.
I disagree. I think you should be an upstanding citizen. That'd be like me saying
the NBA doesn't exist.
These players are role models.
If you think that, the NBA does not exist.
That's fine. Neither does the NFL.
That's true.
But
so you can't say that.
But what I'm saying is, just like I said a couple weeks ago, I'll say it again. You're paid to be a professional on the court, and you're paid to be a professional off the court. So, do you really want to pay a guy or bring a guy into your franchise that acts like a immature 12th grader off the court?
He's still
I don't care how good he is on the court. I don't care. That's fine. But if I'm the head of the office, if I'm the front office, if I'm the GM, if I'm the director of basketball personnel, I don't want to deal with that. I don't care how good he is.
If he is playing ball, If he is playing ball, okay, he is not out killing people. He is not out driving and drinking. He's a young man. He is trying to get his life right. Am I defending DeMarcus Cousins? A little bit. Is he a head case? Absolutely. But when it comes down to playing on the court, do I want Ron Artest? Do I want Carmelo Anthony or do I want DeMarcus Cousins?
I take Carmelo Anthony over. I take Melo any day of the week.
You take Melo over DeMarcus?
Wait. You mean Marcus over Melo?
You take Melo. You take DeMarcus over Melo.
Yes.
Oh my God!
I'll tell you why.
Wow!
I'll tell you why.
That is blasphemous.
Hold on.
That is criminal.
Hold on.
That is criminal.
Quiet. And when I say this, you're going to be like, well, maybe that's not as criminal as you think. Carmelo Anthony takes more shots. They went out the first round of the playoffs.
They went the second round.
Huh?
Yeah, they went to the second round.
They went out the second round. Sorry. They went out the second round of the playoffs. You're right. Sorry. They went out the second round of the playoffs. You know who took the most shots out of anybody last year?
That doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. It totally matters. If you're sitting there telling me you're shooting 32%,
he was the star on the team.
Can I finish my thought?
He was the star on the team.
Can I finish my thought?
So
when you are shooting 32%. And you have taken the most shots out of anybody in the playoffs, which includes LeBron James going down to the final game. You're going to tell me that helps your team?
He
Absolutely
is the star
not.
of the team.
I'm not talking about
He's the star of the team because he's nobody else.
So he's going to take the most shots. You can't
32%.
yell at the guy. That's fine.
32%.
You cannot yell at the guy because he is the only guy they have. He is the star of the team and he's taking the most shots.
32%.
Two things.
32%.
One, I don't care about stats in this situation.
We're saying 32%.
And two, when DeMarcus Cousins makes the playoffs, then come back to me. I think Melo, even though I agree he does take a lot of shots, he is by far a better player than DeMarcus Cousins. By far.
One thing in
rebuttal to that.
He carried the Knicks to the playoffs.
Without him, they're awful.
One thing rebuttal to back
this
to
segment's
that.
going too long.
DeMarcus Cousins plays in Sacramento.
So?
He can't do anything in Sacramento.
Okay.
It's just like Anthony Davis last year playing in New Orleans. He couldn't do anything in New Orleans, and you're talking about a young man who won Olympic gold.
Yeah, but he was a bench warmer. He was a bench warmer. Anthony Davis was a bench warmer. He was on the bench. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
On the bench.
That's terrible.
At the end of the day, and he has a medal in the ring.
No, you want an analogy?
Kentucky.
So you want an analogy? Okay, so DeMarcus Cousins plays in Sacramento. Okay, well, so what? Steph Curry plays in Golden State. Guess what? They
guard.
We're talking about, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about smaller teams, smaller market
Golden
teams.
State was a bad team a couple years ago.
Just like
Exactly.
okay, so if DeMarcus Cousins is supposed to be this,
Okay.
woo,
Hold
DeMarcus
on.
Cousins.
No, you guys are forgetting one of the most important things about basketball. Hold on. You guys, this is good ratings.
I agree, but we're getting
hold on.
long-winded.
You guys are forgetting one of the most important things about basketball. You need a point guard to run your offense.
And DeMarcus Cousins is not a point guard.
You're making my point.
No,
All I'm saying,
LeBron James a point guard?
listen,
No.
would you guys let me finish my freaking thought?
Hope so.
Okay, Sacramento. What is DeMarcus Cousins? He's their center, right? He's their center. Okay. What do they have? They don't have a point guard. Did Sacramento do well at all last year, even with DeMarcus Cousins?
Not.
Exactly. That is making my point. Saying that DeMarcus Cousins he plays well at the center, okay? He played incredibly well at the center. They did not have a point guard, all right? Golden State is good because of Steph Curry being their point guard. Celtics are good.
And they also have
Bogut.
And they have Andrew Bogut. And they
What I'm
also
saying-
have
What I'm saying,
Iguodala is
well, they got
coming
him now,
in. He's
yeah.
coming
you need
in.
a good point guard to help. You cannot do
Klay
it
Thompson.
on your own. The exception to that is Dwight Howard and the Magic because the guy.
But he's not a guard.
The guy
He's
is
just a
freak.
dominant big
Well, no,
man.
that's what I'm saying.
But he had a guard in the Magic.
He had a guard in the Magic.
He did.
But he did it almost on his own, which is very rare for someone the size of Dwight Howard.
And we'll be right back.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos fresh day. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
And we're back here, and we were continuing this discussion during the break.
Who knows when we'll get to wrestling?
But
This is a lot juicier.
You just made your own point wrong.
No, I didn't.
Because you said...
I said there was one exception. Yes, all right, I'm going to go ahead and cut you off. I said Dwight Howard was the rare exception to where a big man can carry a team. He is the rare exception. DeMarcus Cousins is nowhere close
He's
to being
not a
Dwight
viable
Howard.
center in my mind.
He is
He's
a viable
He's
center.
not starting center worthy on a big team.
When you-
on a big
When
man.
you see the guy in the post doing a double-double and no one can box him out, he is a legitimate center.
He's all they have. He's all they have.
When he is standing up to other centers in the league,
Stick DeMarcus Cousins on the Thunder and you know nothing about him.
being
Stick
a
DeMarcus
man.
Cousins on the Bulls. You know nothing about him.
against Luau Deng,
Luau Deng is better than DeMarcus Cousins.
I'm not arguing that.
Well, I already said he's better than Melo.
All I'm saying is that he did respectable. He did respectable against Luau Deng, and he has done respectable.
But he's by himself.
Exactly.
So
that is my
to
point.
say
is
that
the fact
DeMarcus
that
Cousins.
since DeMarcus Cousins is a free agent, if he goes to a team where he has talent, he has Kobe. In theory, he would have Rondo in this situation. He has Kobe, he has Rondo, you have Steve Nash as a backup, you have all sorts of talent on this Lakers team. Tell me that would not be a championship team.
No, I still think
you are nuts.
If D'Antoni's still there, then no.
You are nuts.
Because DeMarcus Cousins is a defensive player, and D'Antoni cannot coach defense.
No, exactly.
So it's still not going to work.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
Oh my God.
D'Antoni cannot coach defense.
And he's right. D'Antoni, he averaged 110 points a game in Phoenix. And he never won the championship.
He is an offensive-minded guy, and DeMarcus Cousins is a defensive guy. They don't mesh.
And it
doesn't work.
He can play defense.
And
he has played defense.
And I promise you that most big name
This is
teams,
good.
most big name teams do not want that head case on their team.
They put up with Ron Artest.
And look where he is now. He's gone.
He's gone.
But
He's
how long
gone.
was he in LA?
Yeah, not long. Only a couple years.
A couple years.
How long has he been in the league?
They won a
He's been
championship.
going team to team to team.
It's ridiculous that these head cases, the biggest head case in the league is Ron Artest. It used to be Dennis Rodman. It's now Ron
Dennis
Artest.
Rodman was fantastic.
He was a
Dennis
good
Rodman-
player, though. Defensive Player of the Year for Chicago Bulls twice.
DeMarcus Cousins is not Dennis Rodman.
No, he is not. Absolutely not.
I can probably name 10 centers right off the top of my head that are way better than DeMarcus Cousins.
I'm saying, though, he's a young man, and if you tell me DeMarcus Cousins can't get any better and won't get any better, then you don't know basketball as well as you do.
He's
a young player.
I'm not denying that he's not talented.
He's
I'm not
a
denying
young
that.
player, but he's going to be phenomenal.
But if he, again, I go back to my point earlier when this was like an hour ago, it seems like. The pressure would be on him so much in LA, and again, he's on Sacramento. He's on a team with absolutely nobody there, and so he's the only
exactly.
He's only the only player people are paying attention to. He goes to a big market like LA or Chicago. Exactly. No one knows who he is. Exactly. He gets overshadowed by Kobe or Derrick Rose
and
or whoever he goes to.
Be better?
No.
You don't think that would be better?
No.
Take the pressure off of DeMarcus Cousins.
He was the guy at Kentucky. Yeah. He's the guy at Sacramento.
He wasn't the guy at Kentucky. He was a guy.
Well, he was one of the top three guys. So he was one of the top 3 guys at Kentucky. Yeah. He's the top guy at the top at Sacramento. So if he goes somewhere like he said, and like I said a while ago, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
I disagree.
I can't remember. We have to end the segment here. I can't remember.
You don't have to.
Well, I'd like to go 2 hours here. That's about anything on my part.
You go tennis for like 10 minutes.
Oh, Wimbledon.
And this is a lot better.
Wimbledon. This is Wimbledon anyway. I lost my thought. But the thing is with DeMarcus Cousins, he's on Sacramento. Again, this is another thing about him. I don't turn on when basketball was going on. I didn't turn on Sports Center every single time. So I go, DeMarcus Cousins had a great game, and he did well, and he did this. I don't get it all the time
because he's playing in Sacramento.
Actually, Big B, you're right.
You still put up good points.
I hear about DeMarcus Cousins a lot in the NBA during the season. You know why? All the games he gets suspended. That's what I hear about DeMarcus Cousins because he's been suspended more than he's had a good game.
We have to wrap this up, and we'll read your article too. But he is to close my argument. This is my last thing I'm going to say about this. He is too big of a head case. I think he gets lost in the shuffle. The fact the doctor said Cousins better than Melo Anthony.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yes,
No, that's not what I said. What I said was,
what did he say?
When you take 32% of the shots, and I know you don't want to hear 32%, but it's a key factor. For someone who goes 2 rounds, hold on. When someone goes 2 rounds into the finals, okay, and they have the most shots out of anybody, including players that made it all the way through to the last game, what does that tell you? That tells you he is a ball hog, and when you are shooting 32%, you are not helping your team, and if you think you are helping your team, you are a bigger head case than DeMarcus Cousins ever can be, because DeMarcus Cousins at least can pass the ball, and at least his big body can create lanes down in the post. If you argue that, then you're crazy. If you argue against that, then you're crazy.
I'd rather take Melo any day.
I would take Melo any day.
Offensively, maybe, but we're talking about a defensive big man that the Lakers desperately need.
Let me just ask this question right here.
Okay.
Doc.
Yes.
If DeMarcus Cousins went to the University of Texas, would you really give a crap?
Yes.
I don't believe that for 5 minutes.
Are you kidding me? University of Texas.
5 seconds.
University of Texas is a lot like University of Louisville. All right.
We're not talking about that.
You said University of Texas.
But what I'm saying is, if he didn't go to
University of Texas.
No. What I said was this: because he played for Kentucky, you're so passionate about this.
No, I'm not. I think he's right here. I really do. I think because you're a huge Kentucky fan, no one can deny that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But you follow the team religiously when they play, and you're passionate about the players, and you're passionate about where they go. If you played for Texas, you wouldn't really defend him because you
wouldn't know much about him.
No,
I disagree.
You disagree now because you know. But
I do disagree entirely because the fact of the matter is it doesn't matter where people play. Just because Andrew Wiggins did not choose Kentucky doesn't mean I'm not going to watch him at Kansas next year. That's just ludicrous. As much college basketball as I watch, you really think I wouldn't know who DeMarcus Cousins was playing at the University of Texas?
We're not saying you wouldn't know who he was, but you wouldn't be as passionate.
I would definitely be as passionate.
I don't think so. I disagree.
Well, whatever. So
let's just drop that subject down.
Let's end this and give Big B his wish and go on to the far less entertaining wrestling.
Not this week.
Not this week. You can say what you want.
No. As far as you're not going to get as many ratings off of this.
I don't know about that.
You'd be surprised how many people watch our show just for wrestling.
Trust us. We get more questions about wrestling. wrestling, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
so with that, let's turn it over to our good friend.
Let's take a breather here.
Brian Cannon.
Give us a break for a second.
And he will talk about OVW and all that was. Brian Cannon, take it away, sir.
Hey everybody, Brian Cannon here once again with another edition of OVW Mania on Triple Threat Talk. This is for episode 107, and I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible because I'm super tired. I'm actually taping this late Tuesday night on July 16th to try to get this to Big B for tomorrow's show that they film. Going back to last Wednesday's OVW, after the show last week, I worked all day last Thursday. I spent the entire weekend in Nashville. Then Monday, I worked all day, and then today I had work and class both. So I'm extremely tired and barely had time to fit this in. So that's why I'm hoping to hurry up and get through this. But I'm going to be talking about last week's episode that was filmed on Wednesday, July 10th. It was episode number 725, and on OVW Mania I titled it "Changing of the Guard" because after the loss at the Saturday Night Special by the Generals Crimson and Jason Wayne. During the show, we had Shiloh Jones, Joe Coleman, and Raul Lamada come out. Shiloh said that they were the ones that made the coalition run. He said the Generals always talked about power and success, but somewhere along the way, they lost the way. Joe Coleman then says they were promised championships and glory, and he says if you look at the record books, the three of them as a team never lost. And then Raul says they saw the writing on the wall, and that's one reason they went out and recruited a new member who was Flash Flanagan. He actually came out and helped them during their 6-man tag at Saturday Night Special. And Flash said that he'll be watching their backs and they'll be watching his. And then Shiloh ended it saying that they will now be known as the Marauders. So that was one of the biggest things that happened on this episode. A couple other little things from last week. Rudy Switchblade's success continues. He defeated Paradise. VIP Joe Rosa returned. He won a match over Yaden Matthews. Tony Gunn and Dylan Bosick were fighting for the TV title. However, Randy Royal interfered and ended up in a brawl with Tony Gunn. Elvis Prodmore, yes I said Elvis, actually got a win defeating Mr. Spectacular Jesse Goddard. Now it was by countout, and it was because Jesse Goddard got distracted. He was arguing with Dean Hill at ringside. The night ended with a contract signing between Jay Bradley and Jamin Olivencia. Before the contract signing happened, we saw a video from the back where Jamin Olivencia had been laid out. So Jay was out there signing by himself, and Jamin ran out halfway through the signing, flipped the table up on Jay and brawled with him, and Jay ended up retreating to the back. So that will be your main event match for the OVW Heavyweight title on the August Saturday Night Special, which I believe is going to be Saturday, August 3rd. But that was really the main things that happened from last week. I'm going to take a short break, come right back, go over a couple other little things, and then we'll be done for this week.
This Thursday, the high-flying action of the X Division takes over Thursday Night Impact Wrestling. For the first time ever for free, TNA Wrestling brings Destination X to Spike TV. The biggest names from the past, present, and future collide as the X Division takes center stage. Chris Sabin competes for the TNA World Heavyweight title against the leader of Aces and Eights, Bully Ray.
I will beat you, and I will ask you if you know who I am.
And can the Aces and Eights hold their ground in a fight against the new main event Mafia? Destination X, live from Louisville, Kentucky, this Thursday at 9/8 Central on Spike.
Okay, so just a couple little things left to mention. TNA will be coming to Louisville Thursday, July 18th, which is usually Thursdays is usually the day that Big B gets the newest episode up. So when you're watching this, we could be at Impact because I'll be there with Big B, with Gary the Dr. Locker, and of course Jimmy Postmaster Jones Biggers. So it should be a good show. At least I'm hoping. They've got the Destination X show with a lot of X Division stars. Chris Sabin, who was the X Division champion, will be facing Bully Ray for the TNA heavyweight title. There's supposed to be a fight between the Main Event Mafia and the Aces and Eights. So it sounds like a decent show. Hoping it is. TNA has released more superstars today, though. They've released TNA Knockout Tara, Doc, who was with the Aces and Eights. A lot of people know him better as Luke Gallows. He was with CM Punk Straight Edge Society. He was also Festus with Jesse and Festus in the WWE. And there's rumors, too, that D'Lo Brown, who was working, I believe, as like an agent, has been released. And that possibly Bruce Pritchard, who's like one of their main like talent directors and does a lot of like the payroll and stuff like that, could be on his way out as well. And I've heard rumors that more releases are still coming. So it's very, very interesting, all these releases that TNA's doing right now. I'll be interested to see if it's truly a financial thing once again, if they're actually just cutting back to help them out on the road, or if they're going to be doing it to sign new superstars. Hopefully it's not just, ridiculous contracts for more MMA guys or people like Sting and Hogan, who are probably hogging up half the payroll. Hopefully if they do use money they're saving to invest, it's for the TV programming or for new superstars. So we'll have to wait and see. But next week I plan on talking about OVW, which will be taped tomorrow night, the night before Impact is in town. And it'll be interesting to see if there's any TNA superstars in attendance for the OVW show. So, of course, I'll be going over that anyway, but let you know if any TNA stars showed up. And then I'll talk a little bit about the TNA shows as well, unless we end up doing some kind of special video for that. I would like to send a special happy birthday to the doctor. It was this past weekend. I sent him either a tweet or Facebook message. I don't remember. But I hope it was a good one. Happy birthday once again to Gary the Dr. Lockard. Don't forget to follow my good friend, senior OVW official referee Chris Sharp, at Ref Chris Sharp on Twitter. He's got a new podcast out this week with former director of operations Trailer Park Trash. Really good listen. They go in depth about a bunch of different things, OVW related, and Trash talks about getting started in the business, training King Mo, how OVW's doing right now, and different things about it. So, really good listen. And then, of course, you can always check out ovwmania.blogspot.com. All the reports are there for the live TV shows and Saturday night specials I'm at. Occasionally, and a live event here and there gets stuck in there as well. I've always got my top 20s, and anytime I hear any breaking news, anything related to OVW, I usually try to post it on there as well, so make sure you check that out. But that'll do it for this week. I'm going to try and get some sleep because my head hurts, and I don't know if you can tell in this video, but my eyes are like bloodshot. So I'm going to let you all go for tonight. I will see you all next week, and we're going to send it back to the guys in the studio.
All right, good stuff from Brian as always, as usual.
Yep, definitely good stuff.
I needed that break.
Yeah, I definitely needed that break.
A lot of water here.
I think we downed 3 Gatorades and 6 Powerades.
I gotta pee.
The Fire Energy, let's see,
Monster, Red Bull,
Rockstar. I mean,
you all missed. If you're all just tuning in, you all missed the Doc holding his own against not one but 2 in a debate.
Holding
his own.
He should be thrown in jail.
Right.
He should be thrown in jail.
Lock him up.
Right.
They got a cell right next to Aaron Hernandez with his name on it.
That's what the Doc.
What's your name, pretty boy?
That was good. That was good wrestling coverage though about Brian. That's always good. I'm really looking forward to tonight. When
we're gonna hang out with him tonight. Let's talk about that real quick before we get into WWE.
Yeah.
Tonight, of course, is the TNA Destination X show.
Spike Impact.
Watch,
see if you, because I guarantee you probably see us because it's on Spike TV.
Yeah, we're close to the ring.
So you probably see us.
2 rounds, 4 or 5 rounds back?
Yeah, something like that. So you probably me and the Doc and Big B and Brian.
The Triple Threat Talk staff, pretty much.
The Triple Threat Talk staff, minus the stats gal.
Minus just Kendra too.
As a matter of fact, the head of security will be there as well.
Yes.
Fellow the Fall Bush will also be in attendance.
Oh, and one quick thing before, I'm sorry, just while we're doing this, pentathlon, we're trying to work out something with the go-kart people. That's the next event. So there's no event this week. So this week we'll have the week off. Next week we will resume. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. So that's tonight. The main event, of course, being advertised is Chris Sabin versus Bully Ray for the TNA World Title. But it all hinders on whether Chris Sabin will cash in his X Division title, which I'm sure he will. Yeah. Let's hope he wins.
Well, I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening, but let's hope.
Right.
Because Bully Ray's champion is, in fact, boring. Probably just a couple things for myself that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to see AJ and Samoa Joe.
Me too.
Sting in person.
That's going to be phenomenal.
I've seen him in person a couple times.
I've never seen him.
It's really cool. And it's been years since I've seen Hulk Hogan live.
Because you and I were at that. We're at WCW, Hulk Hogan.
Uncensored, Ric Flair in the steel cage.
We were there at that. We were there together.
That was a good time. I didn't know you at the time. I was really young. I was still in high school. No, we were both still in high school then. That was years ago. But you may have been there. I was there too.
I was there.
But that's the last time I saw Hogan in person.
I mean, because again, I'm not the hugest fan of the team, but seeing Sting is something just you have to experience.
I mean, I'll go, and
of course you'll go. You're going.
And well, I was gonna say, like I said last week on the show, I know you weren't here, but TNA was bigger. And I told this to Brian. We were talking the other night. Me and Brian and Brandon were having a discussion during Raw the other night.
On my Facebook.
You were in the conversation.
You were in the conversation. I know I was.
Why didn't you chime in?
I was busy.
Well,
okay,
don't complain about
you. He gave the invitation. You reneged on it.
Yeah, you didn't talk.
You checked no for RSVP.
You said, no, I don't want to talk to these clowns. I've got better things to do.
I talked to you enough here. I don't want to talk to you. Okay, then.
Screw you too. You know.
Forget you.
So, like I was telling him the other night, TNA was a lot better between like 07 and 09. Yeah. That's when I went to 3 or 4 TNA events. I went to
six-sided ring, right?
Yes, that's when they were very interested. The six-sided ring. I was able to go to a Slammiversary. In fact, if you have Slammiversary 5, I'm on the DVD.
DVD.
Yes, not to be confused with RVD. but DVD. Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to it. It is at Broadbent Arena, which means to tell me that it probably won't sell out. As a matter of fact, as of the weekend, my buddy still pulled ringside. So what's that tell you?
That's nice. How does that work?
We're gonna be in and out of traffic, no problems, boys.
There's some people that.
Is there anything like? I know you don't really watch TNA. You follow it only what little bit. We talk about. Maybe I need a bro kick from Sheamus here. Is there anything that you're interested in? What are you excited to see?
Everyone always talks about, and this is going to sound really bad. I do want to acknowledge that. Everyone always talks about the women of TNA and how much they put the divas to shame. I really want to see that and witness that and see.
Nothing wrong with that. That's a good. I like that.
Well, I mean, but people are going to say, that's sexist.
No, it's not. That's what I think TNA is good going for that.
It's one of the things that I'm really interested to see.
I mean, I was hoping to see Tara, but that's not going to happen now.
She got released. Luke Gallows was released. D'Lo Brown was released. They're cutting people right now.
I've met Tara a couple times. She's a very nice person. I've talked to her at Comic-Con. Talked to her when she owned Fat Tony's here in Louisville. So talked to her a couple times.
Now she owns the big bar in Chicago. Which was packed last weekend. By the way.
Looking forward to seeing Mickie James again. I can't deny that one. That's going to be nice to see her again.
Keep in your pants. Cody, he'll get jealous.
Cody's not there.
No promises. Again, seeing AJ is going to be great. Seeing Canon's going to be great. Sting's going to be phenomenal. Hulk Hogan, it's something to experience, but I think
Mr. Anderson?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Hulk Hogan shouldn't go away, but that's just me.
Well, Chris is excited. The fella, he said, I can't wait to get my Hulkamania shirt. I said, good, bring it over here so I can sit on it.
Yes. But yeah, it should be exciting. This again, I have a wild card later about the TNA show, but I'm definitely looking to see some of those people.
All right, good stuff there, good stuff. So let's tell you what, let's take a quick break. We've wrapped up OVW and TNA coverage, and when we come back, we'll get into WWE, which They keep it up.
Again, it's like you're living in a dream here. They're still doing well. It's like it has to end sometime, right? You think they're going to slip up somewhere.
But as of right now, they still haven't. And we're on the SummerSlam. So stay tuned. WWE coverage right after this. Don't go anywhere. Triple Threat Talk. Be right back.
IWU Louisville knows business. Not only did I earn my graduate degree, but I experienced a well-rounded education that benefits me my entire life.
The enrollment experience here is fantastic. They fit it around my schedule. They know I'm working. They know I have a family. They really took an interest in my goals here at IWU. IWU knows business.
Indiana Wesleyan University, Louisville. Change your life, change your work.
Welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk.
Compose yourself first.
Little tomfoolery during the break. The doc cracking the jokes as always with a good crackling Big B.
What else is new?
Nothing new there.
$500 for every joke I've been cracked on. I could buy a new camera and buy a studio. And buy a tiger.
Oh, a tiger?
Yes.
By the way, there's a tiger.
Well, I guess the tiger would fit your scenario well with Cody Rhodes.
I set myself up for that one. That was stupid. Way to go, me. That was really dumb.
We know what happened the last time a couple owned a tiger.
Come on. Throw him in jail.
Throw him in jail. Throw him in jail. So, money.
The show is spun like a Sharknado for sure.
Money.
Oh my gosh, is that not the worst trailer you've ever seen in your life?
Well, we'll get. Okay, we're making our second one.
The first one hasn't even come out yet.
It is. It already came out.
Did it come out?
It trended on Twitter for like 2 straight days.
I thought it was a joke.
No, it was real.
No, I know.
And it trended for 2 days.
We're gonna need a bigger chopper. Really? Really? It's like Jaws.
Anyway.
So Money in the Bank.
Money. And coming from the Baker's garage.
Yes, that was quite interesting. How did you guys like that?
It was good. I was disappointed that there was no one to wait on me hand and foot. But other than that,
look here, okay? I got you pizza. I got you drinks, snacks. I had poker chips, which.
We went to a draw. It was good.
Actually, I had you by 2,000.
Oh my gosh!
I counted.
Nobody officially won or lost. That's true.
I liked it.
Except the 2 nights before.
It was a nice change of pace.
Which, by the way, since he wasn't here, even though we've told him, happy birthday again. I know you weren't on the show last week.
Don't have a cake for this time, sorry.
Unlike you, I did take him out for his birthday.
Yeah.
So I am the better friend, of course.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Me and him went to the midnight poker tournament.
And you destroyed him. What a good birthday present.
He didn't play me.
I didn't play him. We played together.
I told him. I was getting pocket pairs left and right, but it was falling to hell on the flop.
There's 97 players in this tournament. He finished 76, which isn't bad. I mean,
70 seconds.
Which is not bad because... And I can't fault him for the way it went out. He was getting pairs. He was getting ace-high flush draws, straight draws, and it just weren't hitting.
Falling to hell.
So he came to visit me, and I lasted a little bit longer. I made it all the way to the final 3 tables. I finished 30th.
Good showing.
30th. So we had a good time. Yeah. Neither one of us won any money, but hey, we had a good time. We enjoyed ourselves, and it was fun times.
But I enjoyed the change of pace.
It was something different.
I was getting a little concerned at the beginning with the pre-show match because the TV was kind of messing up. I was going to go, great, is this really going to happen tonight? So.
Yeah, but speaking of the pre-show match,
surprisingly,
it was a very good match.
No, surprisingly, it was on.
Yeah, it was on. Like, it was actually on.
It's the first time they've done that.
You didn't need to have a
Yahoo or WWE
YouTube or WWE
MySpace.com,
WWE app,
LinkedIn, Friendster.
Yeah. So the Usos,
Snapchat.
or the Usos,
Snapchat.
An incredible showing by the Usos.
Yeah, they did a good job.
They were in a whisker of becoming
this literally this.
Yeah, literally that
2.99.
Yeah. So the Shield retains there. Ryback wins in a roll-up.
A fruit roll-up.
The worst match of the night.
That wasn't a bad match, but everything else.
The ending was terrible.
A fruit roll-up.
AJ retained over Caitlyn in a very good match.
Yeah, they're doing a good job with the Divas. They're doing a good job.
Like you said,
I'm loving AJ's angle, like her the persona she's playing. She's doing a very good job.
Curtis Axel retains over the Miz cleanly.
I like that.
Without
like
Paul
I said,
Heyman.
I like that he did.
Without Paul Heyman. Yeah. Damian Sandow wins the World Heavyweight Money in the Bank. We talked about that.
Cody was so close.
Cody was very close. Randy Orton won the Money in the Bank All Stars match.
Not happy about it.
Who called that last week on the show, Big B?
Again, Randy Orton. injured at SmackDown.
Really?
Yep.
Like, seriously?
Yep.
How bad did he get injured?
I don't know. It was on WWE.com that said he got injured by Del Rio, so we'll see what happens.
So, other people got injured. Punk had to get, like...
Sheamus.
Punk and RVD had to get staples.
Cody had to get...
stitches, and Christian had half a tooth chipped off.
And Sheamus' leg was the size of an elephant.
Yes, so...
Nice.
People did not come out unscathed. So people that think wrestling is fake... You're crazy.
Watch those people get hurt.
And the reason why I picked Randy Orton out, and you alluded to it earlier, I'll allude to it again. Last Monday on Raw, when all the Money in the Bank All Stars were in the ring together, Randy Orton was the first person to say, I will win Money in the Bank. And the reason why I picked Randy Orton is because every year, if you go back and watch the Raw before Royal Rumble, when they're all in the ring talking about who's going to win the Royal Rumble, the first superstar to say, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, always wins the Royal Rumble. It's weird, but if you pay close attention, it works. I promise you.
That is years and years of inside study, ladies and gentlemen. Years and years.
Alberto Del Rio retains.
I loved the way this ended. I wanted Ziggler to win, obviously.
Right.
But the way that it ended, they were playing the seeds for obviously what happened in Raw between Ziggler and AJ. I thought it was very smart. AJ trying to help Ziggler, but eventually obviously costing the match. And obviously happened on Raw. He told her to hit the brakes.
Right.
I thought it was a very good idea for them to do it that way.
I liked the ending as well. It was different. Like you said, AJ getting involved. Kind of
trying to help,
but then again, didn't help at all. So that happened there, and then of course John Cena, the only face to win the entire night, minus. Randy Orton is kind of a tweener. He's kind of a tweener, but the only legitimate face to win out of every match, surprisingly, was John Cena, and he defeated Mark Henry. No surprise there. We all said Cena would win because Mark Henry, he just does not. He didn't make it as world heavyweight champion, and I didn't think he would make a good WWE champion. So then we moved to Raw. The beginning of the Brad Maddox era.
So he did pretty well.
So he kicks the show off with the era began the night before with his nice tribute to Vicky Guerrero. Wasn't that sweet of him?
That was sweet. It was well thought out.
That was very nice.
Very good.
I commend him.
It was Oscar worthy.
It was definitely Oscar worthy. So
best cinematography.
So Raw kicks off, and they do something we haven't seen them do in a long time, and I liked. John Cena, you get to pick your opponent for SummerSlam.
Don't tell them who it is. We'll get to it. But like the way.
What did you think about that? Like, I thought it was different that they didn't just throw him an opponent.
It was different.
They actually they threw in the storyline of Swerve.
It was different.
And then you had the whole backstage segment with Triple H and Stephanie saying if he picks who we think he's going to pick,
Vince be happy.
Which Vince doesn't like. Vince doesn't like that.
Doesn't like Damian Sandow.
Probably the match of the year by far. And if you didn't like this match, you're not a wrestling fan. I'm sorry. And you could tell these guys weren't 100% either.
No.
They weren't 100% and still put on a match.
They wrestled 24 hours earlier. Less than 24 hours earlier.
They put on a 22-minute main event. The match went 22 minutes. I'm talking about Rob Van Dam and Chris Jericho. Wow.
This match went, I believe, 8 minutes long. It was supposed to go 14 minutes. They were going to have a match between Bryan and Wade Barrett, but they scrapped it. They let Van Dam and Jericho go.
As they should. Yeah. That was outstanding. Well, did you?
I didn't see it.
It's a match to be seen.
It's one you should rewatch. Seriously, you should find it and watch it. It is definitely like when the match was over. I was like, wow, I can't believe we just saw that on Raw.
Pay-per-view quality.
It was definitely main event pay-per-view.
I mean,
quality.
just like they just continue to surprise.
And it's like RVD comes back. It's only his second night back, and you're just like, it's like he's always was there. Yep. It's like he never left. It's outstanding. So the final segment of the show,
I loved it.
It was outstanding
because I liked the way it happened. Obviously, he was playing the people. Was like, how about this guy? How about this? It was.
How about Heath Slater? And then how about Ryback?
And he's like, am I missing anybody? And the crowd obviously goes nuts for Daniel Bryan. And the way they did this was perfect. Perfect. They couldn't have done any better. He's like, John Cena's like, yeah, Daniel Bryan, because I respect the beard. And he was thinking about it, and he zoomed in on his face, and he's like, my opponent for SummerSlam. He thought about it for like a second, and he just looked so serious, like my pick is Daniel Bryan. And just the way he said it, I thought it was perfect. And then Daniel Bryan comes down and goes, yes, yeah.
And that's how it goes off the air. My only worry is Randy Orton's going to win somehow. Randy Orton.
And he said you're never going to see it coming.
Randy Orton's somehow going to walk out of SummerSlam the champion. I know everybody wants Daniel Bryan to be WWE champion. I know the crowd would absolutely go, he's uber over. He is beyond over. He is like when he came out, they had to replace the roof in Brooklyn. And that is no joke. Like, I've never...
Again, I like the crowd in Brooklyn. They fandangoed again. It's back.
Just like the roof came off for that as well. I mean, that was another good match.
Good crowds.
Randy Orton versus Fandango. So, that was an outstanding match.
I'm glad the Fandangoing is not going away. With good crowds, they're going to do it. So.
That was another match that was outstanding. Yeah. So he picks Daniel Bryan. So that is the one confirmed match for SummerSlam. And as far as we know, how can I leave this out? How about the Punk Heyman segment? Wow. Holy cow! Talk about real.
Hey, those are shoots. Those are real.
Those was real. Everything they were saying was real.
He went person with his family. He went. This is going to be good. Lesnar and Punk is going to be a fantastic feud heading into SummerSlam. So.
Yes.
that was my point.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't get to see it? Oh, okay. It was definitely a good... if you could find a way to go back and watch Raw, you should go back and watch...
I might tape it for Saturday morning.
The Punk Lesnar segment, the match at the end, and the Cena segment at the end. It was all good stuff, definitely. And the Orton Fandango match was really good as well.
They did a fantastic job.
Good stuff from Raw, good stuff. Wrestling, like you said, they continue. WWE.
I'm astonished. I really, really am.
This train keeps rolling. So with that, Doc, you have a wild card this week, sir.
No, I'm just looking forward to hanging out with you guys later on tonight at TNA.
I'm with him.
That's my wild card. TNA. I'm looking forward to going, but at the same time, TNA is just not the greatest company in the world, and no one's going to say it is. There's an interview, actually, I watched this morning, and I was talking to Taylor on Facebook about it. She gave an interview about how TNA, and then she got released, and she was saying certain things about, I agree with her down to a T. Gut check was a waste. Everyone won. It's not the point of the show. It's supposed to, you win or you lose, and not everyone's supposed to win. That's what happened, and everyone just gets cut. So I was not the brightest idea in the world. I'm looking forward to TNA because it's something I've never experienced before. I'm looking forward to seeing Sting, Anderson, Mickey James, Kurt Angle, all those people, but they're cutting out people because of budget cuts. They're not making a lot of money. So they need to do something to rejuvenate. And again, there's an article I read today about RVD when he was in TNA. The ratings didn't go anywhere. He's in WWE. He gets so much response. And TNA's not helping them at all.
Yeah, maybe they should stick to Impact Zone.
I'm looking forward to going, but I'm not going to be probably too impressed. I'll be surprised, but I won't be too impressed.
Maybe that was a mistake to leave the Impact Zone. Maybe they shouldn't tour to do Impact.
So that was my wild card. Idiot of the week.
Yeah, you.
What in the world is wrong with you? Rolling Stone, one of the most popular magazines in the world, known for featuring musicians, artists, what have you. Not only does this magazine not feature an artist this month, they feature a criminal, a monster, and a downright horrible human being. They feature on the cover the man who's responsible for the Boston Marathon bombings. Why? Why give him the exposure? Why do that? That's only helping him. That's only fueling him.
It's only fueling other people.
And gives him... He doesn't deserve an ounce of my attention at all. None. He doesn't deserve an ounce of it. And he got attention because there was a hunt for him and all that other stuff. But now he gets more attention for being on the cover of one of the most popular magazines in the world. Why? And it's not just me. There's an outcry on the internet about why he's on the cover. For some unknown reason, Rolling Stone decided to put him on the cover. I have no clue. So...
I think that does
Rolling Stone, you're this week's Triple Threat Talk
Idiot of the Week.
So if you want to like us on Facebook, please hit that like button at facebook.com/TripleThreatTalk. Hit that follow button and Twitter at Triple Threat Talk. Twitter. You can any comment or question you have, or of course your blogs at TripleThreatTalk at yahoo.com. This is Big B.
This is Postmaster Jones. I'm excited for tonight with TNA and the boys, and I'm also excited for tomorrow when we film our new second and third episodes of Triple Threat Talk on public access. I can't wait for that.
This is Gary the Dr. Locker, and we want to thank Terry and Cheryl Bodie, nailed it after a week off, for everything they do for us. Continue doing Brian Cannon for his work on Ohio Valley Wrestling. This is Gary the Dr. Locker.
This is Big B signing off. And of course, don't forget to visit my YouTube channel, youtube.com/DeMiroB. And I still agree that the doctor belongs in jail. In jail. In jail. See, he finally comes around. We'll see you next week.
In jail.